Okay, so yeah, this is going to be my last video too. Just letting y'all know for the day, last video for the day, and yeah, so I'm bringing y'all, the critique of Crime Macho. The movie that's being bombarded by critics, as usual in Rotten Tomatoes. Yeah. That's why I say fuck the critics, fuck Rotten Tomatoes. They don't know shit, especially Rotten Tomatoes don't know shit about movies. But yeah, let's get into it. Oh yeah, first of all, shout out to Clint because he's this. Man, shout out to Clint because he's just 91 years old too. He just continues to strike through barrier after barrier and just deliver like just wonderful pack full of wonderful performances. So shout out to him. So yeah, this was like a bit of a this was too like this was like a bit of like basically a western emotional basically a western emotional film with a bit of action, basically what it was. But yeah, Clint playing the usual character as he always plays. The macho, that classic macho alpha head spirited character that he always plays. That he's all like during his peak back in the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s. So yeah, but playing his usual character as that alpha macho male, that doesn't take shit at all and just no bullshit at all. Just spearheads and but backhands anybody that comes across him. That tries to fuck with him. But yeah, so I'm going to my first point. Of the critique, and that's that's like the movie's getting on. Basically, character, seeing where the movie's going. Basically, finding out our plot. As far as like it's like I said, like saying before. As far as like getting out the usual bullet points, like the acting, cinematography. I mean, it was kind of an easy movie to make. It wasn't that too much of to focus on the cinematography, but yeah, the cinematography and the acting, characters, story, it was all good. Yeah, for the most, that was all good too. That was all good. Like it was what it needed to be too. Like I said, Clint just giving the performances like he always gives, and he's seriously underrated too as a director. I don't know, you know, I don't know why he gets flack too for being basically a poor director, but yeah, he's a good director. But yeah, as we're going into the first point of the movie, finding out about the plot, main character basically too, and plot characters, getting all to the bunch, that bunch. He's basically he's basically basically a retired rodeo star. Oh yeah, just so I know this gonna be like because I actually want to give it all to y'all. Like I said, like the confuse reality with movies because that's what they basically are. Like when life imitating art, and yeah, so back to what I was saying. He's basically a rodeo, yeah, a retired rodeo star who's who was injured. Who was injured, doing rodeoing, and one bad incident where he was, riding a horse. They showed us too, where he was riding a horse. It was like a flashback to in of a newspaper that he's basically like he was like Bill still distraught over it too, and yeah, they show us the scene where he's riding a horse, and then yeah, the horse it was like too far up, and he came right down basically on him, basically his legs, and then that injured him, and he's going, and he's basically now basically an old geezer, bitter old geezer, and when who's an alcoholic, alcoholic who abuses drugs. He's like, yeah, all over the place basically, and he's just miserable with his life. Yeah, that was like typical character, I guess. Typical character, those typical character flesh outs, but yeah, but with Clint, he just fleshes it out perfectly, and yeah, you feel like you basically root for him the whole film. He bond with this character and hopes he just makes it to the end. And then his boss is basically an a-hole, basically an a-hole, like the bosses we all tend to have, like he's basically an a-hole, unbearing a-hole, and that's like he fires him at first. Not trying to give y'all any spoilers too. Want to give y'all any spoilers, but yeah, that's what he basically is. But I'll say yeah, I basically told that anyway. So yeah, he fires him and everything like that, and it basically like shows us to go into like the first arc of his character development. Of Mike, that's his name, Mike Angelo. Yeah, it's Mike, but I just call him Mike. And then his boss tries to come to him, and he basically says like he needs help. He needs help trying to get his son back. His son is in Mexico, and he wants to see his son. He wants his son back, and yeah, he basically tells the Clint. I mean, the Mike. He just whatever characters is he's but he basically tells the Mike he wants his he wants to know if he wants his needs his help to get his son back from basically his I guess his ex-wife, who turns out to be a small time QueenPin of like basically I think a drug lord or something whatever she's involved in. But let me check because there may be like be three parts too. But yeah, he basically like wants to to value help, help to get his son back, and that's basically the whole movie. Basically, so it's kind of like I guess you can call it what they call those movies, like revenge thriller, I guess you can call it. But yeah, that's what the story is. The whole story of the movie. And so yeah, we go into the movie, as Mike's trying to basically he refuses at first, but eventually he agrees to go get his I don't know what the bargain was, but yeah, he basically like still wholesome though, even though he comes off as like the usual the usual of Clint Eastwood's characters. Comes off as stubborn at first, but he agrees, and then as we go into the movie, he gets in as he's in his car, basically across border, the border, trying to get into Mexico, trying to get his kid, his boss's kid, trying to rescue him basically. So I don't know. You can basically call it a revenge thriller if you want to. Yeah, I guess you can call it that. But yeah, as we go into in the first scene of the movie, yeah, like this border control officer, of course, like he's like he basically spot him off as a like a pervertized jackass or something like that. Because like as he's talking, yeah, before he's like Mike's comes up to I guess like yeah, have a checkup before you need to get across the border. He he's like talking. Yeah, the border control officer is like talking to these ladies that like basically talking to like sweet talking with the ladies and everything like that. Yeah, the girls, and like as he's talking to them, and yeah, like as he's talking to them and basically lets them buy no identification or checkup papers to get into across the border. He lets them go by, but when Mike gets up, he obviously sweats him, and basically beats a dick to him, and like asks for his or your identification to get into Mexico. Lose your identification. Like what? Oh, what? But you let the other girls buy. What are you talking about? Oh, let me check real quick. I can't. Because this is basically going to be like I guess like maybe three parts probably too, but yeah. So I'm gonna make a new video.